What's up, amigos? It's Chris Lewit here. Normally I'm giving tennis tips, but we do a few videos on this channel talking about red clay and red clay maintenance. And I do own two beautiful natural red clay courts, kind of a hybrid court actually. It has a little bit of red stone and natural red clay. And as some of you know, some of you have asked for more updates on what I'm doing with the red clay. So this will be that. I'll share with you the German lines, the lines that don't require any nails. They've been holding up really well, but I'll get you some video of that. And I have some. Definitely, I've owned these courts almost 10 years, and I think I've learned a lot as just a small business owner, and I maintain the courts myself. So I think I have some good insight to share with tennis court owners and anyone who takes care of clay, because what I've noticed is there's a lot of different information out there, and there's a lack of information on how to take care of the clay court. So any way I can help, I love YouTube for finding interesting videos that help me learn something. And in this case, I think this is kind of a rare situation where I just have two clay courts that I maintain myself. I like to make YouTube videos. I like to share and teach. And I think the few guys that know how to take care of the clay, they're usually not making videos, and they're usually not great at sharing their information. They just kind of like know what they're doing, and there's no book, there's no manual, and they just did it for 20, 30 years, and they're good at taking care of clay. So hopefully I can help you guys out with some good information. All right, so this year, it's a beautiful fall day here. I don't know if you can tell. Beautiful. It's almost October, and it's sunny and warm. And the red clay, we've been playing on the clay all fall here. It's been wonderful. Take a look at these German lines. This is our second season, and I don't know if you can see that. They have those slits in them, and they require no nails. All I have in the corners are these little spikes that I used to hold them in, and they come with stakes as well. These metal pieces can secure the line, and while you roll it down or get it installed. And what I've noticed is they come with these stakes from Germany, very expensive to replace. You have to order them from Germany and get them shipped over here. What I noticed was the lines really don't need the stakes. So I have some of the stakes in the corners of the court, just sort of as markers, so I don't have to do my measurements every season. But essentially, these metal stakes are kind of light duty, and they're enough to hold the lines in place. And then if I roll them in real good, that's been doing the trick, and they haven't come up at all. I have no issues with them coming up, especially on this court. My other court after a very heavy rain, sometimes I have a few areas that pop up, but then I can just roll them back down. One of my secrets is that I mud these in. So I get them real saturated, and I mud in the lines, and then I cover them with new material and bake it in real good. What I mean by that is that every time I put down the line is I really saturate it down with water. Then I tamp it in with something heavy. You can use a tamper that they sell from Germany, or you can use, I use a heavy duty sledgehammer. I just use the top of the sledgehammer and I tap the line in, and then I cover it with new material, and then I roll, when it's ready, I roll it in and bake it in so that it's pretty secure. And it works pretty awesome. I mean, no nails at all. But I have to say that the saturating method that I use and getting the lines sort of baked in there, mudded in, and then baked, it does take time. So I don't know, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You gotta either get down on your knees and nail in a bunch of nails, or hammer in a bunch of nails, or you have to mud these in kind of meticulously. But once they're mudded in, these have been great for me this season. Haven't had any issues popping up, except for on the other court I had a couple small issues, but nothing major. So I highly recommend these lines so far. Second season, you can order them from Germany, and if you hate nails like I do, and you just hate hammering in nails every year, and then really saves you time, not so much in the seasonal installation, but it really saves you time when you're like in the fall and you're doing your annual, you're closing up your courts. You don't have to remove the nails for the next season, which a lot of clubs do, and a lot of court owners remove their nails and then have to nail them back in again. I just hated that task so much. I hate those damn nails. So I finally got out of it. This is my second season, and they're holding up pretty good. The lines, I heard from another fellow clay court owner that the lines can last, up to like, sometimes 10 years. These are PVC. They're made of PVC plastic material, and they seem to be holding it pretty well in the second season. I'll update you again. So that's kind of where I'm at with the German lines. I told you guys last year that I would let you know what I thought, and this second season, and they're doing pretty well. So far so good. I think they look pretty clean. As far as the clay, I had a red interesting if you're into clay court maintenance. So I don't have a hard true court, and I don't have a European red brick dust either. This is kind of a fast red stone. Originally it's a fast red stone that I installed years ago, and in the last year I've been upgrading the court with a blend of natural red clay from a company here in the States. So I get the natural clay imported, and I'm blending it with the original fast dry red stone, and I've had really good results this year. The courts are getting a lot more stable, because one of the issues sometimes with the red stone that I had was the stability and the plasticity. It wasn't binding consistently, and so what I found is I really enjoy this new material. It's kind of a pain in the ass to install. It comes, I got it in no bags. The bags were very expensive, so I got it shipped in a big dump truck, and they dumped it on my property, and it's full of rocks from the manufacturer. It's full of like large pebbles. So I've had to hand sift, hand screen every wheelbarrow that I put down to get this stuff in here. But once it's in, it's a fantastic material. But I talked to the owner of the company. I'm not going to name names, but he said, that's the way we always send it to all the contractors, with a bunch of like pretty large pebbles. I think it's I forget the size of the screen. It's a pretty significant size rocks that come in the material that I think should be screened out from the manufacturer, but I forget the size of the screen. I want to say something around a 1/4 inch, but it's just not enough. The stones that were coming in the material were way too big, so I had to sift those out, screen those out to put the material down. But I'll tell you more about that on the flip side. To put the material. Here's a good example where I rolled too soon, and I have a big patch of the court here that got tore up by the roller. That sucks. You can see I got some torn areas here that I'll have to patch, and that's what happens if you roll natural clay courts too soon. The material will stick to your roller. So this is what was coming in my clay material. Pebbles as big as this, crazy size pebbles. I don't know if you can see how big that is. So this is the stone that we've been sifting or screening. You can see the size of this pebble. It's huge. I don't want that on my clay courts, so this is just one small area, but we've been dumping tons of stone out that we've screened. I put it in my driveway. It's good gravel. Look at the size of these. This should not be in your clay court mix, in my opinion. Just crazy that they don't screen that at the factory. Anyway, I'll show you the screen that I made. I made a homemade screen. It works really good. This is the clay that I'm talking about. Look how sticky this stuff is. I mean, this stuff will not, I don't know if you can see how soft and malleable it is. It's very, very wet right now, even under the tarp here. And this stuff will stick to everything. You can't get it off your hands, your clothing, your shoes. It's unbelievable. So this is the bulk material that I got. And basically what I did was I created this hand screen. I'm really proud of myself for a New York City boy who's living in Vermont now. So I made this homemade screen that you put on your wheelbarrow. Check that out. So I made this screen. I think it's 5/30 seconds. 5/30 seconds of an inch. And it gets all those big stones and allows me to sift them out. And then I can have a nice, clean clay material that I can bring to the courts and use on the courts. But this is my homemade screen that fits right on the wheelbarrow. Here's the natural red clay in its drier form. It can be kind of chunky and it just crumbles like that. Here's like super dry version. It's a really wonderful material as long as you don't get it wet and as long as you get all the rocks out of it. So here's the loose granular form. Though it's not stone, it's an organic material. It's not stone like a hard true quartz is made out of green stone, and there's a red stone. This is a natural organic material. Very, very sticky. Here it is. Don't step on it, you'll never get off your shoes. Just wanted to show you guys what these German lines look like when they're all cleaned up. And check that out. Come with these slit patterns, and there's some markings on the PVC, maybe for traction, some traction. Impressions on the plastic. Yeah, they look pretty good. They come out pretty nice. Hey, back with you. We were just talking about the natural red clay. So with natural red clay, it's not a stone. It's a natural debris that you would find on the side of a riverbank. It's made from natural degraded materials like leaves and proteins from animals and insects and basically organic material. So that's what, it's super sticky. Like, it's incredibly sticky and it takes a long time to dry. So I've been experimenting with this material this year and it's been pretty interesting. It's incredibly good at binding. So it's very, very sticky, like a gel, like a paste. And it's really helping my quartz gain stability. On the flip side, my red clay quartz take longer to dry. So my drying time, I had pretty good drainage before. My drying time is almost double now. So, it takes a day or two for the quartz to dry, but I'm getting a great stability as a trade-off, which for me is a fair trade-off, even though it sucks, after a really heavy rain, we have to wait for the quartz to dry. I'm getting a really well-playing quartz. I also love the color. The color is like a reddish brown, and it has an orangey tint to it. It's very similar to the colors that I see in Spain when I go to Spain and play on the red, like the brick dust there, the red clay that they have there. In Europe, it's not really clay. It's a brick dust surface material that they use, actually crushed brick. So this material here is not crushed brick. It's a natural clay made from organic debris or material from I don't know where they source it from, but it's pretty interesting. I've been experimenting with this year, and I can't believe how sticky it is. It's unbelievably sticky. Like if it gets at all wet and you step in it, you can't get it off your shoes, for example. It's unbelievable. So anyway, I wanted to update you guys. The German lines are good. I'm doing some hybridization of the quartz, blending in natural red clay with an original red stone product. So I thought I'd share that with you, share my results. I'll let you know in the next season. I'm getting 30 tons of the red clay coming in, and I'll be doing an additional blend next spring. I can update you guys then, but it's been pretty good. If you have any kind of trouble with your quartz stability-wise, playing-wise, if you have like a hard true or some sort of stone-based fast dry and you need help with stability, instead of ripping the whole thing up and replacing that red or green stone quartz, you could go with a blend like I'm doing here, and I think it will be successful for you. I can give you the results next spring and summer as I keep working on blending the material in season by season. But that's been my experience, and yeah, I could say that rolling, that have the big roller here, rolling the red clay, the natural clay, it's been a really tough to learn how much to judge the saturation of the material. And you have to wait, like after a good rain or a good watering, you have to wait. For me, I'm waiting at least a day to let the quartz desaturate, lets the water drain out of the quartz, and to where the material doesn't stick to my roller. And this first season using the natural clay is very sharp learning curve for me, because a lot of times I start rolling and the quartz would stick to my roller and I tear up a section of the quartz. Whereas in the past with a fast dry material like Hartrue or a fast dry stone, the base material would dry faster and I could roll sooner. So one of the biggest changes for me is adjusting my rolling schedule based on the new natural clay material that I'm blending in. And it's been tricky because you have to wait a lot longer and have to be very careful, because if it starts sticking to your roller, you're going to tear up whatever section you're rolling. So that's another caveat. If you're working with natural clay, you're going to have to adjust your rolling schedule and be more careful with your rolling. All right, guys, I'll update you on some more clay court stuff soon.